You've seen Scott Pilgrim, right? With super vegan powers.
Super vegan powers, yeah. Yeah.
Milk and eggs, bitch.
Scott Pilgrim reference.
But yeah, and so then we cut to England with Constantine, Zatanna, and Etrigan.
Yep.
The demon without blood, and they're at the grave of Jason Blood. So he's done. I mean, we're not going to see him in another JLD.
No more Jason Blood, but Etrigan will still be around.
Yeah, so he'll still be there, but no more
Jason
rhyming to get back into whatever. Yeah.
No, he's not chained to a man anymore, so Etrigan is completely free.
But I'm sure Constantine can summon him whenever the fuck he feels.
Well, I'm sure
Probably.
Etrigan will probably answer the call because he talks about at Jason's grave how in his rhyme speak he uses, Jason is the closest thing he would ever consider a brother.
Yeah.
So he I'm sure he would take arms again with the JLD.
Then Zatanna has an interesting proposition that has been presented to her from Batman.
Yeah, she was formally asked to join the Justice League.
In this.
She said Batman extended the invitation to Constantine.
Mm-hmm.
And of course Constantine's like, I'm
Is
not...
he out of his damn mind?
Yeah, he's like, oh, no.
But then we end and they walk into the house. And
the House of Mysteries.
Boston flies in and, he's hanging out with...
Black Orchid.
So,
spirit sex.
But, yeah, overall, great.
Oh, it's
a lot
good.
better than Throne of Atlantis, in my opinion. Just didn't...
I heard Throne of Atlantis was okay. It's one of the ones I haven't watched.
Mediocre at best, man.
Really?
I just wasn't a fan. And you meet Ocean Master and all that stuff in that, but as far as animated films go, and I'm not a big cartoon guy, this was good, but it left me with a lot of questions, more than answers.
Well, hopefully I can answer some of them since this is kind of my
realm
of expertise.
So I noticed a lot of similarities in from watching. Magic is prevalent over the last 6 months in movies, especially comic book movies.
Yeah.
The MCU introduced us to Doctor Strange, and we've gotten JLD animated, the JLD movie.
Yeah.
So you see these round. I don't know how else to say it. They're like flat circles that have these markings on them. In this movie were purple for Doctor Strange. I think for Faust they were purple. For Doctor Strange, I think they were yellow or green.
It was like an orangey thing.
It was an orangish red for Strange himself, for Constantine.
And then it was green when he was using the Eye of Agamotto.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of similarities there between the two comic book companies representing visually what magic is.
And they actually take that from...
What the fuck are those?
Well, what they're presenting us, that's like a common thing within just magic in general. They're commonly known as sigils. And the sigils basically are some form of written language that...
They're the spell.
It's a spell that tells what... It's the command that the wizard wants to make reality.
Okay.
So like with Faust, when he has his little sigils all around him, it's to shoot energy blasts at people.
Okay.
Or the one sigil that Constantine was using at the swamp, it's so that he could levitate, because Constantine himself cannot fly. So he uses a sigil to levitate him across the water, so he doesn't.
Can't he just go Levitato or whatever it is in Harry Potter and
Wingardium Leviosa?
My bad, nerd.
Leviosa, not Leviosa. So they and that's a thing that's been in magic for hundreds of years. That's a common thing. So of course, when they do actual comic books or comic book movies depicting magic, it would not be weird to put a sigil to show what a wizard is trying to accomplish.
I just thought about this too. It kind of reminds me of in Skyrim, whenever you could place little things on the ground like they were traps, like magic traps, that if you walked over them, they hurt you.
Yeah, that's a good example too.
But yeah, and so that makes sense. And so the round things are kind of the physical representation of what they want their spell to do.
Yes.
Okay. So, but with Zatanna...
She just has to speak backwards, and done.
So that's how OP she is.
Yes.
Well, she is not.
She's Homo Magi.
She's Homo Magi.
Which is a race of humans who have magical DNA, I guess. Like,
Okay.
magical
Well,
genetics.
she's half Homo Magi, because
her dad is a Homo Magi, and her mom is human, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
So she's a quarter Homo Magi.
She's half.
She's half.
Okay. All right.
And you saw what she's in that movie with just half of that.
Yeah, so her dad is...
Oh, John Zatar was fucking amazing. But he also, in, like, every incarnation, he's already been dead, and now she's kind of, like, living his legacy.
That would be an interesting story to tell, though.
Yeah, it kind of was told. Pre-New 52, there was a run of Zatanna. Actually, I'm pretty sure it was written by Paul Dini. And
really?
She had her own thing. Yeah.
Okay.
I have a couple issues of it. It's good.
Yeah. With Swamp Thing. So what happened in comics when Alec Holland died? How did that... The Green just said, boom, we are Swamp Thing, or they physically resurrected Alec Holland?
They
Alan
didn't
Moore.
physically.
Well, Alan Moore is freaking crazy as shit.
Well, with the Alan Moore run, it was Alec Holland, like, becoming Swamp Thing in the way that it was, like, his body was taken over by the Green and used by the Green.
Right.
But he has since died, and then it was resurrected, and then the Flashpoint happened, rebooted the whole fucking thing. So now we're starting from square one. But they still take little things from previous runs. In the New 52, they still take previous stuff and kind of work with it. And when Swamp Thing started off in the New 52, Alec Holland had died, and they had resurrected him cognitively, I guess, like his spirit, like who he is.
Like his soul, almost.
Yeah, his soul. They brought his soul back, and now his soul has created a physical form through the plants. He doesn't really have a body anymore, even though his body does take place. I mean, it's a part of a story arc later in that New 52 run of Swamp Thing.
Okay.
So it's still around, but he doesn't need it to become that giant monster we saw in the movie.
So what if? What if Swamp Thing came across Ivy and they had different intentions? How would that work?
Well, normally they would not have different intentions because both of their intents are one and the same. To protect the plants.
But what if she... I'm just saying, like, because she's portrayed more as a villain, whereas Swamp Thing is more of a hero.
Yeah.
They do have the same intents where they want to protect the Green, protect the plants, whatever it is. But what happens if, like, she wants to harm something? Would Swamp Thing just go, it's not harming the Green, I don't care? Or would Swamp Thing try to actively,
He would more... He really sticks to his duties.
Okay.
Because, he's Swamp Thing. He has a shitload of other things he needs to worry about.
Yeah.
But unless she herself is causing serious problems within the Green, then he would step in.
Which she would never do.
Right.
Okay.
Or, there's one story arc where somebody is corrupting the balance of the ecosystem, and it on, like, a really huge scale. And then Swamp Thing steps in.
The Earth 2 thing, right?
Well, in Earth 2, the Green Lantern of Earth 2 is essentially the Swamp Thing. Alan Scott, because the Earth comes to him and says, we need a guardian, we need a protector, we choose you. Sense. And then so he gets his power, his green ring, and he gets his power through the Earth.
Okay.
Whereas our actual Constantine, or our actual Swamp Thing, it's the same thing, except he's not as a Green Lantern type.
But he's
character.
The same kind of character.
It's the same basic concept.
It makes sense.
And there actually is, I think during Rot World, or there was a time in the New 52 Swamp Thing where he, Poison Ivy, and Deadman team up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anything with Deadman at this point in time, I'm good.
You're just like, yeah.
Dude, Billy Zane, man. Billy Zane. So, that's it. I recommend it highly. And like I said, I'm not a big animated guy, but I'll watch it again at some point in time, I'm sure.
The DCAU stuff is really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
And, The second time I've seen it, and I'm not.
Still good.
Yeah, it's still good. What you think?
Honestly, yeah, it's probably the best one of the ones I've seen so far. I mean, Flashpoint for a while was probably my favorite one, but I'm pretty sure Justice League Dark may have finally overtaken that, though.
No. We need a good Green Lantern DCAU movie.
Hopefully we'll get that with Armie Hammer, allegedly. With allegedly Armie Hammer.
You mean DCEU?
No, AU.
Oh, well, there are some. I mean, they're not good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I've seen, like, a couple of them with the Green Lantern.
Well, they have...
Not great.
They have Green Lantern First Flight, which is meh. And then they have Green Lantern Emerald Knights, which is more of an anthology story than anything else.
It's kind of like Batman Gotham Knight.
Yeah,
it
really is.
The animated movie with Ryan Reynolds and Mark Strong.
Because
it was all animated.
Please don't make the super suit green or animated.
That was literally Ryan Reynolds, like, fuck you to those last two superhero movies he did.
But whenever he did the GQ thing that he did, the videos he did for GQ for Deadpool, he had a poster of him as Green Lantern on his wall in the office that they were shooting all that stuff in.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so... any polls that you guys want to talk about? We have a couple of minutes, not much, but just go read this, go read it now.
Definitely.
Besides JLA?
But yeah, besides JLA, definitely go read. If you haven't picked it up, please read the Power Rangers series from Boom. Like, issue 12 is just, it's insane, and it's not kiddie like everybody, I feel, would think it is. The Flash has brought back the Rogues, finally. They have been back.
God, that's already issue 17.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, they're flying through the Flash. That's crazy.
It's not necessarily a poll, it's a book. Star Trek Green Lanterns.
No, that's right. You said you read all that.
Fucking awesome. I want the next Star Trek movie to be just that.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
I know, but I want it to happen because it was so good.
Please tell me one of the Star Trek people got a ring.
3.
Is one of them Sulu?
Sulu. No. It wasn't Sulu.
You know who really could use a Green Lantern ring that would be really good?
Actually, there wasn't a green ring because it was Ganthet who did it, so they didn't need a green ring. But there were the other 3 of the good side of the emotional spectrum went to the crew, and then the 3 of the bad ones went to 3 different alien species.
So Klingon got red.
Nope.
Ferengi got orange.
Who?
Ferengi.
So, Deep Space Nine.
No.
Borg got yellow.
No.
Bullshit then. Boom doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. Anyway, because that makes sense. Klingon red, Ferengi orange.
Klingon was yellow.
No, it's red.
They're always fucking angry. Well, the Romulans and the Remans could have gotten red, though, too.
Romulans got orange.
They're
really?
not selfish.
This guy was.
Dude, the Ferengi are even more selfish.
The Ferengi are selfish as shit.
Well, I think they just stuck to what was... Well, no, because there's some alien race I've never seen before that got red. They look like those weird dragon lizard things from Jupiter Ascending.
Really?
Yeah.
Weird. I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, me either.
So, who got the green ring?
No one. There wasn't a green ring.
I'm sorry, who got blue?
Chekhov.
That's fair. I could see that. Chekhov is very hopeful.
So, Compassion would have been... Spock?
Nope.
No. Uhura?
McCoy.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. And then...
This should be easy.
Star Sapphire?
This should be easy.
Not Kirk.
No.
Uhura.
Yeah, the one female on the main team.
Yeah. Anyway.
But guess who was able to wield the entire emotional spectrum to create the white entity?
Spock.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Damn straight.
All right. Wrap it up. Thank you to Rock Bottom Comics, Maher. Google search us, the Comic Book Podcast. Make sure you put podcast at the end of that shit.
Thank you to all of our repeat listeners, too.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a couple of them.
And join us next week as we discuss a rather peculiar physician.
Yes, he's very strange. I'm James.
I'm Kaylin.
I'm Cody.
And we will see you guys on Tuesday.